This video is going to briefly explain a rule that was added to the rule books in 2013 and was added to the SLIFF racing rules. This rule is referred to as Rule 20, right to tack at an obstruction. Now the obstruction in this particular case is a shoreline along both sides of the channel heading south from the Skagway start line. Here is a short video to show the issue. Now this was filmed last Sunday during our race. These three boats have left the starting line, are closely bunched, and all on starboard tack. As they come down the channel, the boat with the red sails is windward and clear astern of the other two. The two leeward boats are bouncing in and out of overlap. By the time they approach the shore, the middle boat is clear astern. Now, Rule 20 states that when approaching an obstruction, a boat can hail for room to tack and avoid a boat on the same tack. The boat may hail by shouting in local chat, water, or room. A boat is not entitled to do this if, number one, it can avoid the obstruction safely without making substantial course changes, or two, it is sailing below close hauled. Now in this situation, no real way to avoid this whole mess without making a substantial course correction. In this case, tacking away and onto a port tack. Now both boats are approaching the shore at close hauled, so this boat is legal to ask for room under Rule 20. Now because there is a third boat, the process gets pretty cumbersome. Looking at this from the bird's eye view, it appears that there probably is not room for the inside boat, and certainly not the middle boat to tack and keep clear of this trailing boat, at least not under normal tacking rules. Now under those rules, since they are tacking from starboard to port tack and would lose right of way, they have to be able to stay clear of this starboard tack boat. So here's how it should work. The inside boat hails the middle boat and waits for a response. The middle boat hails the outside boat and waits for a response. Outside boat decides there's not enough room and tacks away. The others follow in turn. Now had this trailing boat had just a little more lateral separation, or even trailing behind just a bit more, it could have made the response "you tack." Now when it does this, it's telling the boats asking for room to tack that they can complete their tack to close hauled and still have room to maneuver to comply with their right-of-way obligations. Now it could also mean that it intends to maneuver to ensure this room by sliding astern and tacking over the top. Let's see what this looks like when the boats are not quite so tightly packed. For the sake of discussion, let's assume that this boat calls for room to tack and this boat responds "you tack." Now it looks like plenty of room, but let's see what happens. The tacking boat completes the tack to the close hauled course right here. Now the boat that responded "you tack" already realizes that there's not enough room and starts to tack. Remember, his call of "you tack" promised room, and it simply is not there. This boat tacks to stay clear, and the trailing boat decides to go astern. Now all this hailing is pretty cumbersome, we realize that. We are experimenting with ear mics, which are basically shout repeaters, and trying to find a way to make this practical and still make it fun. This is new territory for all of us. In the meantime, you now know that these boats have the right to tack. So please anticipate their actions and respond accordingly. Until we sort out the mechanics of how this is really practical in Second Life, try to respond as if all the hailing specified in the rules had, in fact, taken place. Now, as race directors, we intend to enforce this rule more and more. Our intent is to do so gradually so as to give everyone the chance to learn and practice this. We will do our best to do this in a manner that makes it still fun and fair.